in the upper left. With very amazing, unique play, we have
New challenger, LGIM first.
and his opponent over here in the bottom right. Solid standard Protoss play. He is
Grandmaster, SK Telecom T1 Ray.
Of course, the defending OSL champ. Looking for the repeat.
Yes. We're going to know in a little bit here. Well, we can also, of course, check how many chronos they've pulled, but really when the cybernetics core is done, that's when we know what Protoss is going to do.
Yeah.
Because with building placement, they're always going to hug the Nexus here.
It's always going to be pretty close.
I got a serious question to ask you.
Okay, I'm ready.
That's a serious question.
Okay, let's do it.
Whatever happened to the Scat Man?
Did you do that?
Yeah, I know that's not. What happened to that guy?
He's still singing the same exact song, probably.
Is he?
He's like he's at Venice Beach right now, doing it on the side of the road. I don't know.
That's so funny. I'm just wondering. I like that song.
Scat Man, he got E. coli poisoning, man. That's what happened to him, Tasis.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my god. All right, we have a probe coming out here.
Look at this.
I don't think he might be hiding something.
He's going DTs, man. This is a DT build for sure. And it's kind of cool to hide it in a place like that because Rain just literally won't scout there. But some of the most popular builds right now are fast expands into robos. Now, here's the real big problem. If you go Immortal first against a quick DT, if you go for that build and go Immortal first, the DT is still likely to do a lot of damage. So, it's so funny the tightrope walk that is playing DT build and playing against DT build.
Now, when the probe gets over there, range probe that is, if you're really paying attention, you can do a pylon count.
Yes.
And say, wait a minute. There's no pylon here, so oftentimes you can cut like a probe or two and try to get that out and hide it almost perfectly here.
That is true.
But we'll see if he's looking for that. The problem is it's actually hard to check for the pylons because you can put pylons anywhere anyways. In fact, if you get somebody who knows that counts that, you could just hide a pylon randomly on the map and not use it.
Yeah.
And actually that's fine too.
It's a totally reasonable way to play. We do have that Twilight on the way. Super, super quick Twilight. And Rain, by the looks of his build right now, it looks like he's going for a fast expand. So it just matters, does he go Robo? And how quickly does this happen? And he's actually going Twilight as well, but it's so much slower.
This is not good for Rain.
Well, the thing is, if he goes for a Robo, then he's good. If he doesn't, he's dead.
No, it's like auto lose. So
yeah. Like Twilight, like if you go Blink against DT, you just lose.
Yeah.
So we'll see in a minute here, because if he's going Robo, it's going to have to be relatively soon. It looks like it's just a Blink build here from Rain.
Oh, now he is on the way path here. But
yeah, that's true.
The Mothership Core is not fast. That's actually almost an understatement what I'm saying. The Mothership Core is really slow, so it's going to spot this pretty late.
He is right now. First is going up to 3 gates.
All right, now
he's going to scout this.
It is spotted.
Thing is, he can actually go for his own Blink right now and actually be fine as well, because the amount of gas that right now Rain has to actually spend to get his Observer out is a lot.
Ooh, he canceled.
Okay, see, this was a very good move. And the thing is, Rain has to go for that Observer. So
no matter what now.
Yeah.
All right, this game's gotten interesting very quickly.
Very, very, very much so. And in fact, Rain didn't even start his Blink. He's just kind of saving that because he knows he might need a force field. He's not even making a sentry though. I think he's pretty keen to what's going on here. And he's just going to make a Nexus.
Yeah.
But I guess the advantage you do have to give slightly to first. But it's stupid to even talk about advantages right this second, I guess.
Well, see, he's in an incredibly defensive position, ready for a DT to come up. It's not coming. but he has actually controlled the tech and inadvertently of Rain right now. So yeah, I think First is in good shape.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, First is not going to be attacked.
No.
That's how you would lose if the DTs had come, so he can't leave his base, which gives First actually a little bit of room to expand and attack.
And in fact, with the three sentries out, there just isn't any way for him to attack. So he's just going to sit here, make some immortals, and probably go into a very normal composition with a slightly defensive stance.
Yes.
Whereas First still, he made his own 3 sentries as well, but that's pretty common right now because you need to actually constantly scout with hallucination in this matchup at the moment. You have to know exactly what your opponent is going for so that you don't get caught off guard.
Yeah. So we have the Nexus just on the way here.
First is up by 5 probes, and it looks like he's going to be up probably by a total of 6 if they both continually hit probes from here on out because of the
This observer might actually get sniped in the weirdest snipe ever. Okay,
First slow
if
there.
you actually get that observer there, that's actually a really big deal because that's less Immortals, Colossi, Warp Prism, whatever. This actually is the thing that's driven me. I've been playing Protoss for over a decade, and to this day, it just drives me insane how quick observers die. But even more so in StarCraft 2, because I'm like, oh, God, okay.
Yeah. Well, at least
this messes up everything.
At least they don't cost 100 gas anymore, Casey.
That's true. That's true, too.
Now, we do have Robo Bays coming up for both players, so it looks like both players going towards Colossus Tech instead of the currently more common Immortal Archon style, which is fine, especially, I would say, on this map, which is a little bit more defensive and a little bit easier to take your third on while turtling up and getting to that higher supply count that you need with a Colossus-based army.
Yeah. All right, so the Phoenix now getting pushed back here.
I do expect Warp Prism coming out pretty soon by both these players. They see that each other are going for Colossus Tech. That means you have nothing really to stop Immortal drops, but it looks like, yeah, Rain doesn't want that. He's actually going straight into his Colossus.
Yeah.
I really do like Immortal drops against stuff like this, though.
Where'd he go?
In fact, both players are choosing to go straight into that Colossus Tech.
So we're going to get some nice late-game PvP here.
Definitely.
Can I see the most random question?
Yes.
Is iCup still around?
It is.
It's still around.
It is still
People
around.
are still on it?
Yeah, I believe people still play it, yeah, in StarCraft 1.
Okay,
And maybe a couple other games.
Okay. I was just curious. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, whatever happened to that ladder? Anyways, that's a StarCraft 1 ladder. Okay, so yeah, we just got scouting here. The Hallucinated Phoenixes. This is great because, or a great thing to do because you're eventually going to fill up with all your energy for the sentries. And then if you're not being attacked, you don't need the energy, so you can actually scout them with the Hallucinated Phoenix, which, if you lose, doesn't matter as long as you're at least being effective when it comes to scouting it. So, yeah.
Now, Rain's third base is a little bit slower, and he sees that. He is continually scouting, as you said. But he is getting a quicker second Robo, so he's going to get his Colossus count up a bit faster. Meanwhile, we do have a Warp Prism coming up for First, so he's going to be the one that starts harassing, but it's not going to be quite as effective being this much later.
Yeah. So, we have the... Wait, seem to be making a...
You know what? First is going for an attack.
First is also remaking his Twilight Council?
Yeah, I think he's on autopilot.
This is actually pretty typical when somebody proxies.
Yeah.
That they're just like, all right, well, anyways, back to a normal game.
It could be autopilot, or he might be scared that a Warp Prism's eventually going to come and pick that one off. I guess that's reasonable.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I think he actually just is on autopilot, man,
I think it's
totally
autopilot.
honest, yeah. Well,
First has made a ton of gateways, and he has a Warp Prism, so an attack wouldn't be terrible, but he also made another Robo. So he's still, like, gearing up for a much longer game, but with all those gates, it kind of points towards an attack. Although he is down in supply right now.
yeah, as funny as that is. All right, well, a lot of this will depend on how well Rain can split his focus here.
You know, that army at First is not doing it for me. It looks like he wants to get, like, a snipe because he's going to warp into
Well, he's going to warp in. Yeah, I was going to say, he's going to just dump these Zealots over here and probably warp in another set of Zealots. Whoa! Don't.
Whoa! Oh my God!
Don't do that.
Oh, that was actually very effective for Rain, and he's going to warp in his own Zealots here. That Nexus
makes
cannon
perfect sense. Yeah.
Rain has basically defended this perfectly. That attack by First was not very good, and he lost a lot of sentries in it, which you have to consistently scout what your opponent's going for.
All right. Well, first, I like the idea behind what he did, but the execution was pretty bad. He should not have even attacked in there.
You know what? And now Rain saw that he has a nice lead. He's killed off the sentries.
Yep.
He had a big Colossus count lead. He's up at 6 already against the just one that he saw. So he's switching into Immortals. And this is what Rain does before he wants to attack, is he switches into Immortals, gets that Immortal count up a little bit higher, because after a certain number, the Colossus aren't as useful because they don't all fire at once.
Yeah. Well, we have the Immortals coming out here now. Just being cranked out. And they're probably not going to attack into each other. This is just one of these games you can't really attack into each other full on right now. But they can, if they want, go get positioned outside the other player's base once they get close to maxing out, because when you get this many Colossi, it's really weird and kind of annoying to control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
You know, it's going to be hard for anyone to attack into anybody when you both have Colossus versus Colossus. And in fact, once they start hitting near max, we may see them try to get into Tempest a little bit. That is a possibility. Of course, we do see Rain perhaps getting ready for a 4th base in a little bit. Pylons being laid around the map for both players.
All right, well, the nice spread here for first.
Rain's army, though, definitely, I have to say, better. He's got the same number of Archons. He's got 1 less Colossi, but he's got 4 more Immortals right now. So
now, and it looks like Rain should have the contain. This is going to be important because he's going to get his 4th base up here, which is going to put first in a very uncomfortable spot. Then it will force him to attack into Rain's army. And while this is all going on, it looks like we're going to have a Warp Prism dump an army into the main. And what's so smart about this is that first is almost maxed out. He can't warp Zealots in back there.
Yeah.
Or he can warp like a few, but not as much as he needs.
That's right. You know, when you do get maxed out, it's going to be harder to deal with those drops. So the Warp Prism can be very effective. Oh, that was a nice feedback right there. And in fact, Rain deciding to attack
look at this. Actually, he's going to draw Colossus Fire by dropping those Zealots over there on top of that army.
Yeah, first says great idea and does it himself. And
this is so
the flank. Yeah, the flank is such a nice warp-in right there. And in fact, first pushing back Rain, taking a big supply advantage.
First looking absolutely spectacular, but I do like that drop over there. And now we're going to have Rain come in here and warp in Zealots right now. But remember, the supplies are low, so he can counter warp in against that.
We do have Rain making some more Colossi at home. Ooh, a lot of Zealots being warped in at this 3rd base. It's going to force First to go back home and defend, and that's going to give Rain enough time to remake his army.
Yes, it will. Looks like the cannon's about to go down here. Meanwhile, First Army retracting, turning back around, and just trying to secure that 4th base. By the way, his 4th base now getting up before Rain's.
Yeah. Well. This is such an interesting back and forth, Tasteless, and the fact that they're both going Colossus is really cool because there's all these metagame changes in all the mirrors going on, but then we see like the reversion to the old school in ZVZ and PvP tonight, where it's Colossus versus Colossus, Muta versus Muta, and it's working out well for both of them.
All right, the Immortals now is coming down here. This is a nice little Immortal drop to just get something. Keep these units active. You can always fly around the map with a Warp Prism.
Yeah, as long as you don't lose it. I mean, it's always going to do damage.
Exactly. It's nice, too. Just going to take out this cannon and... Oh, excuse me. I thought those were actually Rain's units warping, and those are the Zealots there.
This is actually a very serious drop that he's going to have to go deal with. He is sending back some Zealots and an Immortal of his own, but he knows he has to keep some of his army out in the front, or First will just walk in and kill one of his bases.
All right, he's backing up now. Now, again, most important to note, though, is that the 4th base is now up and running here for First, and it is not for Rain. So First looking just so good.
Wow, look at this. First going after that Forge. If you can get it, it's a big deal. You want to be ahead in the attack upgrades in this matchup. Very important. And
all right, looks like the Warp Prism will probably have to park right outside the base in that bottom center cavity there. And it does look like Rain is itching now to try to get out of his base, but I don't know if he can right now because First Army is just in such good shape.
Yeah.
This is basically how you pin somebody in a PvP. Is you got a Warp Prism, you fly around their base, and keep your army outside while you expand and continue to upgrade.
Yeah, it's some very nice play going on now. We do have him warping in more. He has a Dark Shrine now, so he's starting to warp in a few Dark Templars as well. These DTs look like they're really going to spread him thin, even going after a Robo at the moment.
And Rain is just out positioned right now. He's with his army over here at the top. I don't know if he can even attack into this area.
God. Rain actually only has one Observer right now. He's chrono boosting out, or just making a couple right now. Looks like he's going to lose one Robo before that one's out.
Yeah, and now First is pushing out.
First actually needs to pull back. This is the one time he doesn't want to take a fight in the open because he's dealing so much damage back at range.
Well,
but
here he goes anyways.
Does he have enough to actually break through?
It looks like he had enough splash to melt the Zealots, but we'll see. Immortal now coming out here. He needs to target that Immortal down on the Colossi.
And in fact, a lot of Zealots being warped in on both sides. He's
actually fine. Yeah, First wins this. There's no way.
Does look like it.
Yeah, you get a few shots off the center there, and that melts it.
And as soon as his Colossi get to target his opponents, they start to do very well. But hold on, starting to push him back with his own Zealot warpins.
He pulled out that he's warping more Zealots, which I'm really surprised about. Now there's no more Robos.
You know what? This attack here by First in the main base of Rain, just so good tasteless. In fact, he sees that there are in fact no observers there and goes after him. Wow, really well done.
Beautiful game.
Better.
First looked awesome.
Yeah.